Hey, you're back at the Digi-Social. It is the week of May 21st, and a lot happened this week. Like, we're going to talk about the royal wedding, 13 reasons why, the Billboard Awards. Please notice my crown. It's not made of Sharpie and highlighter. This is real gold. Anyways, the Digi content of the week, so the most viewed and streamed digital content this week was 13 Reasons Why Season 2. So it was widely streamed, but unlike the first season, it didn't break records, but people liked it. The reviews are kind of, it was a lot of repeating what happened in Season 1, but just from a different perspective. So I don't really know how much information that we learned was new. It has a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not good. Critics and fans, they were already worried about Season 1 influencing other teenagers to mimic the tapes, but now the Parents Television Council is involved. They're urging Netflix to cancel the series. Season 2 is even more graphic than Season 1, believe it or not. Beware, they put up a warning, but people are saying the warning isn't even good enough. They're trying to keep issues like mental health and sexual assault an open topic of discussion because the world keeps saying we want to discuss these things, we want to talk about these things. But it's interesting because the audience, they say they want to talk about these things, but when they get them, they don't want to look at it anymore. They're like, no, I don't want to see this because it's too real. So we either need to decide, do we want to talk about it? Do we want to kind of represent what's going on in the world and fix it? Or do we just want to put it away? Because right now it kind of seems like these television council people just want to put it away. Speaking of Netflix, Hollywood Byte wrote an article explaining how Netflix's subscriber base could still have a long way to grow. They could still go up, which is weird because it's like, who's not on Netflix at this point? If you're not on Netflix, you're not chill, because Netflix and chill. During the March quarter alone, the platform added 7.4 million new subscribers, which is a lot. So think about it, 7 million people still did not have Netflix a few months ago. And the Obamas are the hot new executive producers in town. They just signed a multi-year agreement with Netflix to produce films and series, and that is exciting because I feel like their projects will have like a lot of depth and substance because they're like substantial people. The trending topic on Twitter was obviously the royal wedding. Who woke up at 4 a.m. to watch this live? I did not. It was this year's biggest UK TV event. More than 2 billion people worldwide tuned in. 18 million of those people were Brits, which I get. I don't know why everyone else, because there's a lot of talk about how this new family is like the family she never had. She just made a really big sacrifice for love. So what's her new life gonna look like? Can she work? Do the royals have jobs? And the answer is yes, they do. Most of the time they are doing royal duties, obviously. But did you know that Queen Elizabeth is a trained mechanic? This lady worked on cars. And Prince of Wales is the filmmaker. Obviously, Harry was a soldier. But Meghan did leave Suits. So we don't know. I don't think she's going to keep acting. I think the publicity of being an actress is too much for like a family that is so private. So the do-gooder of the week is actually just the do-gooder of the Billboard Music Awards 2018, which happened Sunday. Kelly Clarkson hosted and she did bomb. And the best part is, after the shooting at Santa Fe High School in Texas, which was 20 minutes from my hometown, by the way. So it was a shock. But Kelly, instead of doing a moment of silence, which they always do at award shows, she called for a moment of change.
Why don't we not do a moment of silence? Why don't we do a moment of action? Why don't we do a moment of change? Why don't we change what's happening? And mamas and daddies should be able to send their kids to school, to church, to movie theaters, to clubs. You should be able to live your life without that kind of fear.
Which is great, Kelly, because after all the hashtag Me Too and hashtag Time's Up stuff, it was like, okay, cool, we have a hashtag, but what now? We have to apply what we're putting out online into our real lives. You have to do more than just a moment of silence or a hashtag. So I love Kelly. Also, everyone wants to know A, who won Top Social Artist at the awards show this weekend, and B, why was everyone screaming? It was because of BTS. So for a long time, I thought they were called K-pop. Turns out K-pop is the genre, Korean pop. They're called BTS. What does that stand for? It stands for Bulletproof Boy Scouts. I'm learning so much today. Anyways, so these guys are taking over like the entire globe. They're like my version of One Direction. I love One Direction. The cool part is that they're actually like all of their fans are learning Korean because all of their songs are in Korean, all of their interviews are in Korean. So their fans are learning about like Korean culture and Korean music. So they're not only entertaining, but they're educating. This is V because he's V cute. Oh my God, that was a good one. I am on a roll today. And the last thing that happened was Janet Jackson was the first African-American woman to receive the Icon Award at the Billboard Music Awards. But let's be real, she should have just been like the first woman in general. Like, what took so long? She's like truly an icon. I love Janet. I don't know her, but I love her. This is Nellie. She is the accountant that works in our office upstairs, and she is a CPA, which I learned today means Certified Public Accountant. I like to call her Miss Money. So the hater of the week is a few experts. I'm putting experts in quotes because I don't know if they're real experts, but we have some retirement experts. This was a huge conversation on Twitter. Basically, MarketWatch.com posted the article titled Money Milestones, and the retirement experts said that we should have twice our salary saved by the time we are 35. Okay.
I don't believe that.
What do you think about this?
Twice our salary? That's a little bit unrealistic.
I think it's incredibly unrealistic, especially today. A lot of people in their 30s are still paying off student loans. They have debt from college. You're 30.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s, early 30s.
Yeah, like what else are you guys paying for that's like stopping you from saving as much as you could so that you could have double your salary in the savings?
I mean, your mortgage, first of all. Secondly,
Mortgage.
like I didn't even have a wedding. I didn't have a wedding because of money.
So if I have a wedding, I'm going to be even more broke?
One of our biggest recommendations to other millennials nowadays is don't have a wedding. First of all, invest in a house. Why would you want to dump all that money into one night when at least you can have a house instead?
Well, at least you have a husband. Like, people don't even say hi to me on the streets. I don't even have a prospect. So.
Even as a good saver, I think that it's impossible to save double my income by the time I'm 35. Are you kidding me? You know, I can never have a car payment. I mean, I just don't think it's very realistic.
Realistic. I don't think it's realistic either, but do you think the whole, like, always put 10% of your paycheck into the savings, is that a real thing? Do people do that? Like, what do you live by?
I do live by that. I don't know if it's 10%. It might, sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's a little less, but I think that if you can save something, just do it. After I've paid my bills, I just move a chunk of money into my savings and I don't even touch it.
I'm kind of there right now in the broke world. I'm in my 20s and I'm thinking, how can we save if like a lot of people in their 20s are just making enough to get by? Our rent is so high. I mean, it depends where you live, but also it depends like how much you made at an entry-level job straight out of college.
Right.
And I just want to talk about like how hard it even was to get an entry-level job outside of college. I remember when I was applying for jobs, they all wanted like 3 years of experience in that field. And it's like, well, I've been in college for the past 4 years. I don't have experience in that field yet, which is why I need an entry-level job.
Millennials are not really going into the corporate world. Now they're pursuing their passion projects a little bit more. And so that's another reason why I think it's even harder for young millennials to start saving.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of saving. I'm like pursuing a dream right now, you know what I mean? So I'm not making a lot of money to save. A lot of people these days, millennials, they take a few years off to travel before going into the professional world, or they do, like you said, passion projects. So it's really different, but thanks for being here today,
yeah,
Miss Money.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really proud of myself because on the Digi-Social, we've never like talked about like finance.
And getting serious, but it's time. It's
I
time
missed
that
my
we start
calling.
looking at it.
It is time that we start looking at it. It's time that I start looking at it. Usually I open my bank account and I'm just like, ugh.
You don't want to see.
I don't want to see it. We're wrapped.